I'm taking a look at our Slido questions, and there are two that are kind of related, and I think it's a question you will be getting a lot. It relates to the 40 cents, or to the, to whatever we donate in the app. And people are wondering how much of that actually goes to children, and how much of it goes to possibly other operational costs.
Yeah, that's, I think, a very important aspect to us. So the 40 cents are the global average cost of feeding a child in need for WFP. We have used this global average cost because we want to have a fixed price point. So we don't want to switch from one campaign to the next. In Syria, it might be more expensive, but for example, in Congo, it's definitely cheaper to feed a child for one day. So we have said this is the one fixed price point. Now, the 40 cents includes all costs attached to providing the food. So from the transaction costs, we do pay transaction costs to PayPal or to credit card processors, but we have negotiated really huge discounts for nonprofits. So we have low transaction costs. We of course have internal costs too, but what we don't have currently at this point, none of our operating costs are covered out of these 40 cents. So all of the Share the Meal costs come from innovation grants, funding of the World Food Programme towards scaling this innovation and further growing it. So we don't actually take a cut out of that. But this is something that moving forward, we're quite interested to understand, because we think it would be definitely a way of having a sustainable financing mechanism for Share the Meal to actually take a small portion of the funds. So this is something we're working on. It's also something that I think informed donors understand, that we do have to cover marketing costs, we do have to cover operational costs. At the same time, it's also really important not to be excessive with this. So we're looking closely at competitors that have very low operating costs. Some even have a 100% model. If you look at Charity Water, for example, we definitely can't do that. But we do want to have a very low overhead base, because we think particularly for millennials, this is a super important thing. And this is definitely a factor in why they would decide to give to us rather than to a different charity or nonprofit. So for us, keeping a low overhead cost is very important.